My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Center Hill Road, Akron, Mississippi, 38841. I am still under attack by Scientology. They have removed more brain tissue. Uh, They removed the center of my brain down to past my corpus callosum, from my frontal lobe uh, back to my medullas. They have me on life support. They're also doing the same thing to my animals. They are still stimulating my brain tissue. They are making me see things and hear things. They are subjecting me to their bad psychology. So they are subjecting me to their psychological issues, like pettiness, jealousy. They like to make faces at me while they do this to me. Now I'm getting victim shamed. I just got spit on. I'm in severe pain. I'm sick. I'm weak. I'm dizzy. Yes, they have me near death. They keep giving me wounds, removing brain and other tissues and organs, and then they won't let it grow back. They destroy blood vessels and nervous tissue leading to the afflicted area. I have wounds all over my body. I'm missing organs and brain tissue and central nervous system tissue. And they put a molecular overlay or transplants or some kind of tether to cover up the damage. They do this to me non-stop. They never stop doing this. 24/7. They don't stop. And then they want to blame it on my behaviors such as smoking or eating or drinking. But I stopped doing these things and they continue to do this. They never stop. This technology that they use has a narcotic-like effect upon them. It runs energy to their brain and central nervous system, elevating hormones and dopamine levels. They're twacked out of their heads. They're extremely psychotic and delusional. They have addictive behavior. They are extremely irritable, jealous, petty, machoistic. They're sociopathic. They have no empathy. Yes, this is Scientology. I'm very sick. They plan on removing more brain tissue. Because of this entanglement property, if they have my brain tissue at a remote location, they can do things like make me see things, make me hear things, or subject me to experiences. They can also utilize my brain tissue as their own. They are trying to harness my intelligence, my ability to create, right intellectual property. Yes, I just woke up a few moments ago. I got forced to assimilate into a hive mind 13 years ago. I was a political activist on social media. I participated in politics a lot. I'm also an author, so I'm part Native American. I wrote Crazy Bird comics. My Native American name is Crazy Bird. I wrote Environmental Creation Agency. I wrote Divine Currency or Buffalo Dollars. I wrote Alien Bob, Bug Bob, and several others. They put me in a hive mind for personal entertainment and to steal intellectual property, which is what happened. And I fell violently ill shortly after assimilation. Foreign objects and parasites. I started going to the hospital. The entire time it was apparent that the public was invading my privacy. People like radio DJs, media companies such as NPR, MPB, marketing companies, social media, internet companies such as Google, tech companies such as Microsoft, other big businesses, and the government, politicians such as Barack Obama, the FBI, the CIA, the military, the Department of Justice, the local police. They were all invading my privacy. And they used their observations to harass me. As time went on, conflict grew more and more, and they stole more and more intellectual property. Eventually, they installed more hive mind technology. They installed technology in my brain that allowed me to see the extra dimensions. I could then see their extra dimensional biologies on my property, inside of my home. Yes, aliens. Aliens are remote controlled organisms driven by third dimensional humans. Then they started stealing body parts. So they exploited me throughout this entire scenario. They allowed other Scientologists to read my mind for a fee. People like Bill Gates and other people, for personal entertainment and to steal intellectual property. So they wanted the brain tissue that allowed me to write and process information. So they started taking brain tissue out of my head and transplanting it into other people's heads. Brain transplants. Then they set up a hive mind system using my brain tissue, where all these other people could come and be a part of this hive mind. It turned into a snuff film where they got to harass me and assault me over and over again. Yes, they're blaming it on me. And it became apparent that I had parasites, and they continued to give me more parasites over and over again. So they took more and more brain and biology tissue. My biology has wound up in a million pieces. I'm getting victim shamed. Yes, they're saying I've done something wrong that somehow justifies their criminal behavior towards me. So some of my biology is being used as transplants. Some of it is being used in this hive mind technology. Some of it is being used for surrogate purposes. So they're making other organisms out of my biology in which they can drive, and they claim mate to steal my genetics. And some of it is being used as a torture device. They are subjecting it to torture devices and foreign objects and things like caustic chemicals and other chemicals, irritants. And they are doing things like locking it out of entropy or putting it down a hole in space-time, putting it in places where no one can get to. So Scientology, there are more than 3 dimensions. There are like 11 dimensions. There are also extra particles attached to us that we can't see. Some kind of dark energy or dark matter that makes up part of our biology. So the human genome produces an 11-dimensional organism with horns on our head. We are Anunnaki. That is our bloodline. We are designed to survive in outer space. We can fly. We have huge eyes. We can see in all dimensions down to the molecular level. We can do molecular transfer, which is we can move particles around with our mind using our eyes. We are invisible to a third dimensional human. We can see biology's functioning on the molecular level. So we can see energy, so we can see our brain and central nervous system lighting up. We can see particles flowing through us. We can even read genetic material and modify this genetic material to help organisms develop uh, certain features and aspects. And this is the human afterlife experience. Scientology is the practice of utilizing this extra dimensional biology before we die. They remove it from themselves, and they utilize technology and techniques to turn it into upper dimensional vehicles. Yes, they create aliens out of our extra dimensional biologies. So the Scientology process. If you choose to practice Scientology, or if you practice Scientology, you will go to one of these Scientology companies. There's Preservision, Yumas, and Lizard Company, and several others. They will remove part of your extra dimensional biology, but they have to leave organs and tissues behind so you can continue to survive and function properly. However, your upper dimensional organism or upper dimensional biologies in which they have removed can't function properly in this state. They have to use organs and tissues taken from other humans and other species in an attempt to make themselves whole and function properly again. They take organs and tissues from other humans and other species such as reptiles, insects, and worms. So they make various types of alien forms. There are the blues, the, the greens, and the grays. They make lizard people using lizard body parts. They make insectoids or bug people using bug body parts. And they make worm people using worm body parts. These are the aliens. These organisms are what Scientology creates. And third dimensional humans drive these upper dimensional organisms. They drive their upper dimensions while they are still among the living. So there's an entanglement property between our third dimension and our inner dimensions. If you remove a part of your extra dimensional biology, no matter where you take it in the universe, you are still in this biology. So they use this entanglement property for part of their hive mind technology. They remove body parts such as extra dimensional brain tissue, mostly their brain stems, their thalamus, and their eyes, and other brain tissue and other body parts. They store this biology in compounds on Earth. So they have little pods or boxes or a shelving system in which they install this biology, and then they install this into a computer or to a storage system. From there, they interface this biology to a computer system using electrodes or devices or sensors. This links them to a computer system. From there, they can communicate with each other and interact with each other in a digital landscape. It also acts as a command center so they can control the rest of their upper dimensional biologies and drive surrogates, which is an organism besides their own in which they can drive. They also have wireless technology. So they have devices that interface to the origin biology and to their upper dimensionals. These are little digital devices, uh, electrodes and sensors, which they attach to their brain and central nervous system. Most of this technology is recording devices. They record sensory perception input, such as our sight, our hearing, our smell, our taste, our touch. They call these preservision devices. And some of it artificially stimulates brain and central nervous system tissue. So they run energy through our brain and central nervous system. They can do things like isolate individual memories or thought patterns and stimulate this area of our brain. So they can make you experience a memory or a thought pattern. They can stimulate the emotional center of our brain so they can control our emotions. They can make us feel sadness, joy, happiness, or it can even make you cry. They like to stimulate their sexual organs and have a sexual encounter with each other. They even stimulate their endocrine system, which elevates hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone. They also stimulate their neural tissue. So doing this elevates neurochemistry. They run energy through their neurons and it forces neurochemical production. It elevates neurochemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. It has an extremely narcotic-like effect upon the user. The Scientology community is a criminal enterprise. Ever since the 80s, they have been forcing people to assimilate. So anybody that has any kind of influence, power, or authority in our society is getting assimilated. They force these people into a hive mind or to practice Scientology so they can control their behavior for personal and monetary gain. They do things like steal body parts for their Scientology process, where they create surrogates, which is an organism in which they can drive in any dimension. So social media and marketing companies, they are doing things like stealing eye nerves or brain tissue so they can invade our privacy. You can steal someone's extra dimensional eye tissue and actually see through their eyes. Or they install devices that allows them to see into our environment. They're using this information to try to sell us things, to control the algorithms in which we see on social media and the internet, and to control the ads that we see. They do things like home invasion. They invade our businesses. They invade our privacy. They also use their upper dimensions as lookouts so they can break and enter with their third dimensions. Uh, they kidnap people all the time. They traffic humans. Rape, torture, and murder is rampant among these people. They do this over and over and over again. They are using biological warfare against people. They can drive surrogates, which is another organism besides their own. They are driving bad organisms through people, such as parasites, microbes, or even viruses. You're breaking the law. are being harassed, victim shamed. They're trying to come up with some false narrative in which justifies their criminal behavior. They like to destroy our property. Specifically, they like to contaminate our food and water supply with parasites or contaminants to cause us harm. This entanglement property that pertains to our biology also extends to our surroundings. So it extends to our homes, our vehicles, our clothing, our food and water, and the land, even the land that we live on, or the plants and animals in our environment. They can steal the extra dimensions from these objects and take it to a remote location and gain access to our environment on some level. So they can literally take the extra dimensions from our home and take it to a remote location and stick their hands through this extra dimensional material right into our environment and manipulate our environment from a remote location. They are doing this to me and other places of interest around the world, plus the people. Scientologists harass people constantly. This technology, plus their criminal behavior, plus the narcotic-like effect they're getting from this technology, is leading to extreme irritability. They harass people 24/7. The guy standing here says, "Well, I'll just listen and then I'll come up with my rebuttal." And this is what they do over and over again. They continuously try to come up with some false narrative, manufacture evidence, or stage events, which somehow adds to the justification of their criminal behavior towards me. Get away from us. Scientology has victims over and over and over again. They do this over and over and over again. They see body parts as a commodity, objects in which they can use to complete the Scientology process or give people an experience. They can control people with a body part, or they can use it as transplants, or they can gain access to a person's mind space, psychology, using body parts. Get away from us. Yes, you're breaking the law. This is not your home. Leave.